Well, I almost forgot to start a video, but obviously that's what I'm thinking for this car, gauge-wise. He'd already seen the set in Sweet Pea, and he liked them. So I think that's what we're probably going to do. It's just getting ready to pick the car up and start, maybe looking at pulling the drive shaft and looking at how difficult it's going to be to get the cross member out. That's going to be loads of fun. And just unhooking things and dealing with things. So did pop the cap off the Dizzy, because if I do start pulling a cross member, the engine's going to rock back a little bit. But, we're still just evaluating things. Got to pull things apart and figure out where best to spend the money. I pulled the drain plug on the tranny, which was really fun to pull. It was really wrenched in there. I'm glad it didn't crack the case. And here is the smears of metal off that magnet. So hopefully that's just a disintegrated, worn shift pad, which is what I hope. But I'm not holding my breath. So we'll be finding out. But we're slowly getting closer and closer to getting this out of the car. Drive shaft's out. Tranny's drained. I think at least that U-joint is getting replaced. I haven't really looked at this one yet. Honestly, they're cheap enough. I think we would do them both. That back one is not as nice as I had expected it to be. There's one cup coming apart and there's contamination in it, so we're not even going to monkey with it. They're just not that expensive. And drive shaft's already out. So now I get to play the fun fight, pull those bolts, pull that mount, then we'll pull a jack over here to hold it up. And I'm not even playing the bell housing game. I'm just going to pop the tranny off the bell housing. So when all this is ready, we kind of lower it down, slide the tranny right out of the clutch. So I'll make my life a little lighter. Okay, they're always heavier than you remember them being. But we got that down and out. Not digging the amount of play in the input shaft. I think that may be excessive. So we will be monkeying with that. Oh yeah. Neutral isn't even feeling good. There's a bad bearing for sure. So, well, at least an input bearing. We'll see. We'll see about the whole thing. Oh, I didn't bring a light. We haven't pulled the bell housing yet, and I haven't even pulled the starter yet. Honestly. Got the exhaust cracked apart to make it easier. I did pop the cap off the Dizzy. So you can see he's got Trick Flow 195s for heads. So we will see what's going on. It's really not pretty in here. So we'll get it. Okay, just like when I have Harlan do it, just pick an angle where you can see. So now she's on the ground. We threw a stick on real quick. And okay, let's see. All right. Now this shifter isn't great. So over here first, see how that goes back? That moves the shift forward. Second, so see, this same vein is your 1-2 right here. So this is what you would adjust if you were having difficulties getting full engagement. Okay, coming back out, went into third, and then back to fourth. This is your adjustment here for the length to make sure you're into both third and fourth. Because what you want is when you're in neutral, there's a hole here that a little gauge pin goes in, and you would set all those so that neutral is real, so that neither shift fork is pushing. Reverse is hard to do when you're not in a car. But there. And that's reverse pulling back. Now, somebody had added a cheesy little switch that's all busted out. We will come up with a better solution for that. For his reverse lights, but we're having a hard time getting it in first gear now, and that's on the ground with no engine running or anything. So I got a feeling when we pull her apart, one, I can tell you now, this bearing is done. Input shaft bearing is not happy. Probably all the bearings need done. Who knows the last time this was apart? It's obviously not a factory piece. This was an automatic car, but more importantly, all these bolts are mismatched. So this thing's been apart. These were painted orange at one point, so who knows what they came from. These are hardware store. So, that tells us something. This shifter is going to go get rebuilt. I'm going to eventually pull the rods, get the inspection plate off, take a look, see what the forks look like, and when we do that, I'll make sure to put the camera on and show you how that looks inside and how that actually works. Because this movement here, in there's a little pivot, and it's going to be a lot easier to show it than it is to explain it. So, okay, so that's where we're at on that. So that's a little more money out of the budget. Okay, I think we're going to close it here tonight. I meant to shoot another segment, and I forgot because I had company. But I don't know what's all wrong with the top. I know it's been folded for a very long time. The window needs some relaxing. So we got her sitting relaxing just to see what condition we're dealing with there. Because if we can improve things there, I will. I don't remember where I left off. But you can see we're getting closer to pulling the starter and the bell housing. We'll check the clutch out, get all that out. It was just easier to go ahead and drop these. So got them resting nicely on a board. Stay out nice and safe and out of my way. Because honestly, pulling them the rest of the way out of the car and setting them on the floor would risk damage. And there's no reason to. Just more spray, trying to drip things and clean things. So the cleaner I can make things, the easier it's going to be to work in here. But yeah, I think this will be a pretty nice area to close out the Bent69 for this Monday. Didn't even know I was going to be monkeying out here today, so that worked out pretty good. And unfortunately, I think we're going to spend a couple dollars in here. But it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. We'll find out. Have a good night.